Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. There's a recipe on the screen for fisherman's pie. This is what it's going to look like at the end, and I really hope you're going to love this classic English dish. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of ingredients in a fish pie, depending on how many different ingredients you want to put in, because it's up to you really. Traditionally these are topped with mashed potatoes. I like to poach the smoked fish first of all in the milk, with the aromats in there, garlic, onion and the hardy herbs and some peppercorns. Simmer that gently for about 10 minutes. Then I always like leeks in this, but you can use cabbage, you can use peas, green beans. I like green vegetables, I think they work really well with a fish pie. But those leeks need a good wash because they're all gritty, so I'll put them in a glass bowl or any bowl. Top them up with cold water, give them a stir around, swill it out and repeat a couple of times to get all the grit out. Those chives I'm slicing up are going to go in the sauce at the end, completely optional. Any other herbs will do as well, dill, parsley, nice soft herbs for that I think. So that fish has had 10 minutes. Gentle with the simmering. If you boil it, obviously it's going to be done quicker, but you won't get as much flavour into the milk because that's actually what we're doing there, and also the fish will become tough and rubbery. So bechamel, I'm sure you know how to do this. I'm going to try to sort of edit through this very quickly, but melting the butter, stirring in the flour, cooking the flour out just for a minute or so, and then adding the milk that's already been infused with the smoked fish, bit by bit, and stir and add and stir, etc. So yeah, the idea with this dish is it's quite a lot to do to make it, but then you can have it done a day in advance or even a couple of days in advance. And so when you want to have it, you just pop it in the oven last minute. You know, you can have it kept in the fridge and it'll be absolutely fine. So that's why I like this dish when we've got family coming over. It's nice and easy, everyone seems to like it, and I can just put one big pot on the table. It's got the vegetables already in there and everyone can just dive in. It's a real sort of rustic English West Country, probably originating in the southwest, like Cornwall, from God knows how many hundreds of years ago. This is many different variations of it, but there you go. While I was waffling there, you could see the bechamel is just about finished. When you see it bubbling like that, the big sort of cauldron type big bubbles, that means it is thickened. It's unlikely to thicken anymore. You may want to just keep tasting it. If it tastes slightly floury at all and unpleasant, just keep gently cooking it until it doesn't. Season mine, salt, pepper, put some mustard in there. As those chives, you can have a final taste of that, and if you're happy with it, I like just to put a lid on it to stop it from gaining a skin. You can put a bit of cling film on the surface or a bit of baking parchment, and then let's get on with the rest of the fish. Or the order in which you do this doesn't really matter. You can have the fish done way in advance. So I'm peeling the prawns. I decided I'm not going to use the shells on this occasion for this. I wanted the sauce to have that smoked fish, not prawn flavour, so those are in my freezer, awaiting inspiration for another video in the future. So the prawns are peeled. I do recommend you use raw prawns for this, but if you want to use ones that have already been shelled and deveined, then carry on. In fact, I recommend that. These are frozen ones, and again, frozen ones are good, because the fresh ones have probably just been frozen and defrosted anyway. And what you can see me doing there is deveining. Yeah, that's the tract, it's the horrible intestines and you just all that horrible stuff. It's nice to go to the effort of taking it out, and I find it easier if you slice them in half all the way through. So I've got some salmon. I want to get the skin off. There you go, see what I'm doing? Keeping the knife flat against the skin, angling it ever so slightly down and wiggling it all the way through until the skin is removed. Repeat with all of those, and that will work for skinning any type of fish. What I'm doing there is I'm just checking to see if it's got any of those little pin bones. That one didn't. But as I say, if when you're cutting up you find any in there, just take them out. Fish tweezers are not too expensive, or your own tweezers, eyebrow ones if you're brave enough. But there you go, I found a couple of pin bones in that bit, so that's demonstrating to you how I got those out. And you squeeze, you ease them out, don't try to yank them out, they'll break, be stuck in there. And that's the whitefish. That was some cod, haddock, pollock, hake, anything like that. Nice white sort of flaky fish is ideal. And I sort of pick a size and I stick to it so they'll cook evenly. Okay, those leeks have had a good 10 minutes or so soaking in the water. I drained them, but they're keeping some of the liquid there, and some of that water is also going to help them steam in this pan. So in a pan, about a tablespoonful of olive oil. Salt helps to speed up the cooking process. Pepper makes it taste nice. Cook those as fast or slowly as you like, basically until they're nice and softened. I like the lid idea because it keeps the steam in there. They probably took about 5 minutes to cook. When you're happy with them, what I like to do is then drain them, which I'm just about to do now. Just push out some of the excess liquid. We don't want that. I don't want this pie being wet through the water in there. I want the sauce to be the only form of liquid in there. So again, I put those on a plate and I thought I'll pop those in the fridge for a little while to cool down quickly. So potatoes, I haven't shown you me peeling potatoes because I'm sure you know how to do that. It started off about 2.5 kilos. Probably the peeled weight was about 200 grams. 2 kilos, sorry, not 200 grams. Then when they're ready, I like to let them steam dry a little bit. Don't start mashing them immediately. Give them a minute or so for the steam to come off, and that's basically liquid coming out. Give them a rough mash up, or mash them for ages, up to you how smooth you want this. That butter I added in there was not in the recipe. I've realised that now. So that was excess butter, extra butter to the recipe. I put about 100 grams. I might lie to you there. I might put in 200 grams. Who knows? As much as you want. You can put a bit of milk in there. And don't forget to season it. That dish would be nice, but not big enough for this job. So I've gone with a much larger roasting tray that doesn't look as nice. I had a few of us coming over, and in the end, this pie I've made here would be easily enough for 8 people, potentially 10 people, I suppose, as well. If it depends. Not my family, obviously. We're Gannets, but once I've got the vegetables arranged at the bottom, I then scatter the fish over that. Take your time here, make it nice and even. So every sort of spoonful hopefully gets a bit of white fish, a bit of smoked fish, a bit of salmon, a bit of prawn, etc. Season as you go, salt and pepper. There you go, I thought, no, there was a gap there. Let's just correct that. I just reheated the sauce just to make sure it was easy to pour on, and yep, it worked out just about perfect. But I say, don't get too concerned about exact measurements with this. It's so forgiving. It's just a pie at the end of the day with mashed potatoes on it. If yours is a bit drier, it's alright, isn't it? It's going to be nice. If it's a bit wet and sloppy, delicious, lovely. Even your potatoes on the top, and then I sort of rustically on this occasion thought I'll just sort of mess it up with a fork to try to get some peaks. Those peaks hopefully will get sort of toasty and crispy and caramelised on the top. So I like to cover mine for the first half of the cooking with a bit of baking parchment on it to make sure that it doesn't burn before everything's hot inside. A couple of spoons to weigh that down is perfect. It took about an hour, and there we go, beautiful. Hot, creamy, saucy fisherman's pie. Anyway, this one's over. I hope you like this one. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know how yours turns out, and I'll see you in the next video coming really soon. See you then. Bye.